foreign-born citizen who generally does not vote in non-presidential elections, what is your message to me and others like me to bring us out to vote in the general election?
Elections matter. And I think we all already know that from what we've seen in November. And as others have mentioned today, your participation in the May Firehouse primary is all the more important because it'll have otherwise low turnout. Now, my parents were both immigrants. I'm the first member of my family to be born in the United States. And voting was something that I just started doing when I was 18 and just always did absentee. It was always important to me. Now, I think that it's a personal decision to vote or not vote, but I encourage people to be their voices heard. Now, I think that in this particular election, local issues are what affect us all directly every day. And it's something that you as voters have more control over. I mean, I don't feel as a voter as if I have as much authority or control over federal and state issues. Local issues you do by being engaged and getting out to vote. Unfortunately, many people only listen to voters. They should listen to the community overall, but I think that that's an important reason, as I said, to get out and be heard and to do it every time if you can. And unfortunately, because this is a caucus and not a primary, absentee voting is not an option.
My mother is a naturalized citizen, and I actually remember when she got her citizenship. And she brought both my brother and I up with a very hardcore instilled value of that you should get involved in your community. And the most basic way that anyone and everyone should do that is by voting. And I think if you need any more evidence that elections matter, we absolutely have had that now. Elections truly do matter. And even in Arlington, some people might say, well, it's, the Democratic caucus, we all know and understand that the Democrat who wins this caucus is very likely to be the one who's going to ultimately win the seat in November. But it does still matter. We should never, and I would encourage this new citizen who worked hard to get that right to vote to exercise it, because you should never take for granted that what we have here in Arlington, however special it is, that it will always be here if we don't all participate. Do your duty, go out and vote, even at the caucus.
There was one year when I lived in Alaska that I went to private school. And Sister Margaret Ann always said, if you oppose, you must propose. And then you must be prepared to vote or to volunteer. And I will tell you, every time you're walking down the street and you see a pothole, or you see a tree that was supposed to be preserved and the roots have been cut, or you see that the art bus that you were expecting to take you, that route has been canceled, those things impact you. And those things are the responsibility of your county board member. So if you truly appreciate those things, and you appreciate a wonderful way of life that we have here in Arlington, and you want to keep us diverse, safe, and forward-thinking, please vote May 9th, 11th, or 13th.
As a naturalized citizen, the greatest joy that I had was being able to vote. There are so many countries, and as the question pointed out, that you don't have that luxury. You sometimes don't even get to exert a vote or a voice. The beauty of our democracy is that we can vote and we can make a difference. And I believe that looking at this election and what happened, if people vote, Democrats win. And I believe the path to rebuilding our country starts locally, right? Our vision of creating economic opportunity, progressive values, protecting the environment, the rights of women, equal wages, the most vulnerable, all of the values we so cherish and impact us, not just federally and statewide, but impact us locally. And your vote is going to be that difference. So fight for your, I don't want to say fight for your right to party, I have to fight for your right to vote.